everybody. This is Rick Del Santo. Joining me tonight is the DVD freak, Matthew Trumbull. This is the Pro Zone. We're going to be talking about lots of professional wrestling coming up. Survivor Series in 3 weeks, and Daniel Bryan made an announcement on Talking Smack. So, Freak, how are you?
Doing all right. It's just us two tonight. It's cool, just hanging out, shooting the shit.
Yeah. So I guess Talking Smack, when's that air? Did that air after Hell in a Cell? I don't know. Anyway, I have no idea. All I heard was that it was over the weekend. I think it was after the Hell in a Cell or something like that. So I don't watch a lot of the exclusive content on the network. I do watch 205 Live. I was watching that pretty heavily for a while, but now that they took the Cruiserweight title and brought it over to NXT pretty much exclusively, what's the purpose of 205 existing if there's no title to go for? I mean, But those guys end up in NXT anyways, for the most part.
So what are they actually fighting for at that point? Whatever.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Bryan, I'm Talking Smack, basically came out and said he's considering this his last run. He's going to be working with a lot of younger stars, or that he wants to work with a lot of young stars and put them over. One of the things that came up, and I'm not exactly sure where I heard this, but was Chad Gable, aka Shorty G. And I think
God.
Yeah, I know. I hate that.
Don't say that.
I think, according to something I read yesterday or the day before, or heard on a podcast, maybe Wrestling Inc., that he's actually went back to using Chad Gable and Shorty G is no more. I really hope that's true, because I was really annoyed with the whole Shorty G the thing. That was just, oh my God, it was ridiculous. Seriously. And considering that he's possibly one of the greatest pure wrestlers on the roster, they're making an ass of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about the name change as well. I don't exactly know what they could be changing his name to, because knowing Vince, he'll just want him to be named Chad or something.
Yeah.
We're not allowed 2-word names anymore. So
yeah, I know. Well, from what I heard, Lars Sullivan will, they're gearing towards already Lars.
What? Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm surprised he's even back.
I know. I mean, he Vince must love him, because he's given him 1,000 chances already.
Yeah.
From the time where he had an anxiety attack and then said that he couldn't go out, and then all of a sudden came back a few months later, and then all this, I guess he got injured relatively quick, and then all this random unpleasurable stuff came out about him. So, he ended up disappearing for a while, but he's back, and apparently he's the Freak. The Freak.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, that's not allowed around here.
No. The Freak.
Might have to sue him.
Michael Cole has to say it about 200 times per 3-minute match.
That sounds about right.
So back to Daniel Bryan. I think that Daniel Bryan and Chad Gable would put on a tremendous series. Chad Gable's a guy it's like he's floating in obscurity in WWE with just these random feuds, nothing to really hone his, to become remembered by. And I think that if him and Bryan had a series of matches, I think that'd be, a tremendous series of matches. I mean, imagine those two in the ring together.
Yeah, it does sound great, but I also don't trust them to give them a good 25 minutes that they would need. But yeah, there's a lot of matches I'd like to see. I mean, Bryan's my favorite modern wrestler, so
yes,
this sucks. But even a few years ago, he said that he's winding down.
Yeah.
He has 2 kids now. He has Brie Bella. And if I had Brie Bella, I'd be home more often too. But something that I guess kind of pisses me off is this will tie into the Daniel Bryan thing. But sure. the Edge and Randy Orton rubber match for WrestleMania. I would much rather see Edge and Daniel Bryan one time at the Showcase of the Immortals.
They never wrestled each other, had they?
No.
Bryan he was still, I guess, coming up in WWE when Edge was still there, right? When he retired? Yeah. Well, that's interesting to think about. I mean, I would not mind seeing them wrestle each other. I mean, how would that go though? Because Edge is a full timer. I mean, part timer. Excuse me. He's not a guy that's going to come in and basically get a lot of wins with the type of contract he has. He's probably going to be there. For him, it's the excitement of being back in the ring with the business that he loves, and he has what is it, 3 matches a year with however many appearances in his contract, and so a lot of those he's not going to get over on. So I would assume, like, how would that necessarily go?
Well, even if you didn't do it at WrestleMania and you did it at a different pay-per-view, because I feel like at this point, because Edge won Last Man Standing, and then didn't he lose the other one?
I believe so, yeah.
And I'm assuming he's winning the title at WrestleMania. I'm assuming.
You would think.
Or
how long is it gonna be before he makes his actual comeback though? And comes back.
I'm thinking, my prediction, he wins the Rumble.
You think so? Oh, okay.
I'm saying he wins the Rumble. I mean, realistically, it's either him or The Rock that wins the Rumble. Or if The Rock's not available.
What makes you think that The Rock's going to win the Royal Rumble? Do you really think that they're going to give someone like him a profile like that, a high profile match like the Royal Rumble, and win, and then come in and wrestle his cousin for the title?
He was supposed to do it at one of the Rumbles in the last few years, but they changed plans. Because if you look at it, what's the most viable Roman match that they're building towards, and the highest rumored one right now? It's The Rock.
Right.
And it's almost, I'm like 90% sure we're getting Edge and Orton. So one of them two has to win the Rumble.
You're not the only one that said that's a match that's pretty much definite that they're predicting. I mean, Brian Alvarez has also said it, and I think Meltzer, said it as well. So I think it's a very big possibility that match is going to happen, Edge and Orton at WrestleMania. But do you think it's a little too early? I mean, to start. I mean, the way WWE works, they're at like a faster pace than when we were younger. How everything was a little bit slower, and you'd have somebody a champion almost a year to a year, and then they'd build up for that feud for a year for WrestleMania. And right now, I mean, so it's what, 8 months away, 7 months away, something like that, WrestleMania. Yeah. You think they're going to have Orton hold that title for that long?
I mean, who else do you think would win it? Who, honestly, right now, do you think is going to beat Randy Orton clean for the title? I don't.
The only person I would say clean would be Drew McIntyre winning it back. Clean.
I don't see that happening.
I don't think that Drew McIntyre's days as champion are over. I'm going to tell you that. I think there is another win in there somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I think somewhere down the line. Yeah.
He's still young. I mean, he's not young, but he's 36 years old. So there's still he doesn't have that many years left. You know what I mean? Probably 10 years left before he starts really winding down, unless he gets seriously injured. But I also think that it's very possible the Miz might take it with the Money in the Bank. I think it's, I'm going to go with like a 90% chance that he's going to win it. It's not going to be at a pay-per-view. It's going to be similar to how he did it before on like a Monday Night Raw randomly.
Well, I think it'd be hilarious if he did it on Orton again. So
I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's going to happen. I actually popped the first time it happened, like legitimately, because it was like one of those things that just kind of came out of nowhere.
But going back to Bryan, let's say you have an announced final match, or what you think could be his final match. Who's your last opponent for him?
Christ. And WWE.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. It'd be somebody who would have to come back. You know who I'm saying? I'd have to say CM Punk.
Oh,
I know there's like a 99.99999 chance that will not happen.
Yeah.
But I think that would put asses in seats for a final match. And the thing with that is, don't have Bryan lay down because everybody lays down on the way out. Go to a 20-minute time limit draw at WrestleMania. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome.
Oh,
I think that would be phenomenal.
God. That's better than what we're actually gonna get. So
yeah, well, yes, that is true. As far as like current roster,
like let's say he has to put somebody over. Let's say he is gonna lay down for that last match. Who would you have him put over?
I'd like to see him. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to name a few guys. I think Keith Lee would be a fucking phenomenal match. I think Keith Lee is one of my favorite wrestlers today in WWE. You know, I think he did a phenomenal job in NXT. What he's doing now on the main roster is pure shit. They're really burying him. They're making him look terrible. Yeah, but considering his first match in there, he beat Randy Orton like less than 5 minutes or something like that. And then all of a sudden, every week after that, there's been a huge decline. Have him come in and that'll fucking change everything around in Keith Lee and then skyrocket Keith Lee towards that title. I think Tommaso Ciampa would be another excellent match.
Man, that would even Finn Balor I think would be great.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
I think they would have good chemistry. I don't think I'd want him to put Finn Balor over. But Gargano would be another good one.
Well, that was going to be my third pick, Johnny Gargano. I think that would be, Johnny Gargano could work really great fast-paced style. He's done some amazing matches on the NXT pay-per-views. He's like the resident hero of NXT. You know what I mean? He's like that guy that's locked in Mr. NXT type person. Yeah. So I think that would be another one. And I think that if Bryan laid down for him, I think that would skyrocket Gargano in him being able to jump to the main roster and, succeed in the main roster. And I don't, he had only popped up on the main roster for a few matches before going back down to NXT. I don't know if that was necessarily Vince's idea. He did not accept Gargano, but I know that, when him and Tommaso Ciampa went up there, he did not join the main roster because he doesn't want to leave Florida. He likes wrestling for NXT. He likes the schedule, and he likes, being in that area without having to travel 300 days out of the year. 300 days, excuse me.
Do you think Chad Gable is a possibility of that final opponent?
I think it's a very good possibility, but would that be something would you want, my guess would be, it would be somebody that they would be elevating towards that next level for a world championship. Do you think, I know personally, I would love to see that, but I don't think there's no way Hunter or Vince would ever cross their mind to put something on somebody so small like that. He's smaller than Daniel Bryan, right?
Yeah. The only reason they ever put it on Rey Mysterio was because to cash in on the Eddie hype. So, realistically, the odds aren't, the statistics and the odds aren't in his favor. Right. But here's what I think's going to happen. Okay. Knowing WWE, I think his final match will be John Cena. Because A, it doesn't make sense. B, you're not elevating shit. And C, they have such a history together.
They do.
So I could easily see Cena coming back for a one-off, do 5 weeks of TV, and then the pay-per-view payoff match, and then that's it.
Right.
They have kind of unfinished business. Not that they really pay attention to continuity and stuff, but, Cena
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter in McMahon land. You should know that. I think so. This is just a lot. There's a lot of possibilities as to what can happen with the end of Bryan's career.
I think my choice would be Gargano.
Yeah,
that's my number one pick for the final match.
I'd have to say that or Tommaso. But like I said, the current main roster guys, I'd have to say Keith Lee, because like I said, I think that eventually they'll want to groom Keith Lee for world championship status. Just my opinion.
So would you actually want to see CM Punk and Bryan, or do you think that's just the money match?
I think that would be. I mean, they're pretty good friends. They have been for many, many years since the independence. Would I want to see it? Sure, why not?
Yeah.
I think it'd be. CM Punk has been on the shelf for how long ago was it now? 6 years?
14 Something? Was when he left, yeah.
So he's well rested, get in there, practice a little bit, work out, and then I think that those guys have him go to a 20-minute time limit draw. I think it'd be a fun match. I think it'd be phenomenal. And I'm not even the world's biggest Punk fan. I do like him, but his WWE run I liked a lot more than, like, say, him in Ring of Honor. It's just me.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I didn't really grasp the what was so great about him in the independents. I think that a lot of that had to do with the 90-minute Iron Man match I saw of him with Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno. Like they were like that kind of turned me off. I mean, like it was just very pretentious to watch.
Yeah.
So. But on when he came to WWE, and it didn't click right away either. I saw that he was the way he was being booked, and I enjoyed him quite a bit. So I think that would be a good match, and like you said, it would definitely be a money match, absolutely. Especially CM Punk coming back one more match.
Well, if he were to come back and face anyone, like if they said, "Hey, let's have you come back and face Hunter," he'd be like, "Fuck no." But if they said, "Hey, why don't you come back and face Bryan?" I think that's one of the few people he'd be like, all right, let's talk.
I think there would be more of a chance of that happening than, I think there's definitely like a way. I think he'd actually even, like you said, let's talk. He'd open his ears a little bit more. But if it came to somebody like that, or, and the thing with Punk is he's not getting any younger. You know what I mean? Mm-mm. The more he stays away, the less of a chance there is of him coming back too. So,
yeah,
that's the other thing. So, we got Survivor Series in 3 weeks. Some matches have actually been announced, Steve. I know, was it 2 weeks ago? A week ago when we were talking about Hell in a Cell, the preview that we were giving out, the prediction show. There's only 4 matches, and that was already announced, and that was, 3 days prior to the show?
Yeah.
We were 3 weeks away, and now there's 6 matches.
Well, it's because I don't give them any credit because these matches wrote themselves. They're title versus title matches.
Well, there's that as well. And there are, so far it looks like there's going to be, I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes here, 2 Survivor matches as of now, as of present time. Remember when the shows were just 3 hours of Survivor matches? And then,
oh my God,
what was it? And then there was a Survivor Series, I believe, that had no Survivor matches. I remember one year. I think that's the year Foley won the title.
Yeah,
maybe.
And even 2002, it had elimination matches, but it didn't have a traditional match.
Yeah.
It had the Chamber, and it had a triple threat tag team elimination match. So that technically doesn't count. So there was 2 years that they didn't have any traditional.
It just sounds like they were trying to get everybody on the roster on the show.
Yeah. So. But Survivor Series is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. Fuck WrestleMania. WrestleMania hasn't impressed me in years. So
it hasn't knocked my socks off since WrestleMania 11. No, I'm kidding. I only said that. I only said that because I was there. I don't remember it being.
That's your WrestleMania?
That was the first WrestleMania I went to. I went to 35. I went to 35 as well.
Okay, I almost went to 35, but I looked at the card. I'm like, nope.
Oh, see, my wife gave me tickets for Christmas that year, so I was pretty excited. So me and her son and her best friend, we went up there, drove to, and it actually only took us like 2 hours to get there. And It was quite enjoyable. They open up, they rent out like a big part of the arena for like the store, the merchandise store where whatever fucking team plays there. And it's a WWE store. I kind of passed up. I got a Kurt Angle shirt. Of course, after like 2 months, it got some stain on it. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I'm trying to
Well,
find. That was very special to me because it was the Kurt Angle retirement shirt.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to find another one in my size, but I passed up on a WrestleMania coffee mug, and I can't find those particular coffee mugs from that WrestleMania online anymore either.
Yeah, mine was 34, and I don't really buy merch, but I did steal the person behind me. I buy DVDs. That's about it.
I got two of those. I got not from that, but I have the WrestleMania, and then it just so happened coincidentally Money in the Bank was in Hartford, Connecticut that year, so I went to 2 pay-per-views in a row. So I ended up, I have 2 cups. I have one from WrestleMania, one from Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I'm not one for the WWE merch. I'll get like other like stupid shit like Jim Cornette's restraining order. To me, come on.
I have it. I have it
exactly. Too. Autographs and stuff, but yeah, I have never bought a wrestling shirt in my life, and I probably never will. I do like getting stupid.
Do you know souvenirs. How many I have? Do you know how many I have?
So probably like 70, 80. I don't know.
You were close the first time. 60.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I'm not done.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, well, look at the DVDs. I ain't done either.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I get those as well. It's just they got to be something special. I'm not like a completist like yourself.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because I spent my day running around to 4 different Walmarts today.
That's okay. I saw somebody messaged me today. My friend Will. He Five Below, the store Five Below. You guys got one by you.
Yep.
They've been some WWE figures and other such things have been popping up in there. Now I got about 6 or 7 of them. They're just standard $9 figures that they got there for $5. I bought the AJ, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kurt Angle, basically anyone that I thought that I might somewhere down the road be able to get autographed.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's cool. AJ's gonna get retired at some point, down the road. I don't think he's even stated he only has a few more years. One of the things that my buddy sent me a picture that they have, if you remember the old Muscles, they were like a certain type figure. They were like a brownish type, or like a rubbery type figure, and then they made them WWE versions. They were not wrestlers like the original series. They were just kind of. I know that there was an AWA Muscles figures, but now WWE just printed some, and they're there at Five Below, so gotta take a trip there tomorrow.
There you go.
Because I'm a fucking mark. All right, back to Survivor Series. We just totally ranted about being fanboys. Yeah, so there's gonna be Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. So for actually the women's match and the men's Survivors match. Before we actually start breaking down these matches, NXT is not being taken part of as of present time, and according to an article on Ringside News, that Vince McMahon is backing up from supporting NXT, bringing NXT in, and last year they were all over it because they're trying to get viewers, and I think that he's kind of giving up on it on his end, from what I read.
Well, I didn't think there were going to be, but if you noticed when they were promoting it on Monday, the yellow was still included in the logo and the graphics. So it was still blue, red, and yellow.
I'm going to have to go back and check that. I did not notice that. And the current Survivor Series logo is what you're saying.
Yeah, it had like the graphics and everything, and when they were promoting it, it still had the yellow in the middle like last year, unless they edit that out eventually. I'd actually rather NXT not be a part of it personally. I may be in the hardcore minority there, but I'd rather them just.
Well, this is an article I read yesterday or today, so that was maybe it was today because. Today's Tuesday. Shit. So yesterday was Monday Night Raw. So who knows? Things could have changed in the last 24 hours. And not for nothing, NXT dominated, Raw and SmackDown last year. They won the majority of the matches. And I think that was a really good way to try to get NXT over and to get viewers. but it didn't work. They
Well,
still have the same amount of viewers they do every
yeah,
week.
if AEW hadn't had a show on Wednesday nights, they would not included NXT in Survivor Series last year. Come on.
You're absolutely. I believe you're right.
Yeah. So I at this point, I'm kind of 50-50 on if NXT. I was actually going to say no, but then I saw the graphic last night, and that's kind of how everyone else was. They're like, oh shit, the graphic's still all three colors. I'm like, well, maybe it's one of those things where they're just they put it there for now just in case they decide to include NXT.
Right.
But
Well,
maybe it'll be announced tomorrow night.
We're still 3 weeks away. We never know what the hell is going to happen.
Yeah.
As of that. So yeah, NXT could start building up next year. Maybe tomorrow during Halloween Havoc. I mean, who knows? They could show up Friday night. Now, are Raw and SmackDown still pre-taped?
Oh, I think they're live. Are they live?
They are live.
I don't know.
There's very possibility. It's Team Raw as of right now. AJ Styles and Keith Lee and Sheamus. And 2 members to be decided against Team SmackDown, which nobody has named yet. So we'll probably figure that out this Friday. There's going to be some qualifying matches. Who do you think will be on that side?
I don't really know much of the SmackDown roster. I'm sorry, but
I know we're in the same boat as of present time. I mean, so
I'm sure Bryan, he's on SmackDown,
yes,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, Bryan, Kevin Owens, I think are 2 names that are probably going to be pulled there. Trying to think of some of the other wrestlers that are up there. Cesaro, maybe.
Is he around? Where's he been? Like
he's. I just saw him last week, or maybe the week before. Yeah, I haven't been keeping up on SmackDown either. I've actually tuned into Raw a couple more times than I have SmackDown. I at least have been trying to give it a try, to try to keep up on the product at least for the sake of the podcast. As it's not necessarily something that we always keep up on. And it helps when you're trying to review a WWE pay-per-view as well.
Yeah.
So
the way I see it, like I said, Survivor Series has always been my favorite pay-per-view. But if you look at the last few years, to me, it's been pay-per-view of the year. No matter how bad the product is, Survivor Series has killed it the last few years. It really has.
I think that's always one that I've always pretty much watched.
Yeah.
For the last few years, I didn't. For a while, like I said before, I wasn't always keeping up on WWE product. It wasn't until I met my wife and her son was a WWE fan that I started watching it again a little bit here and there. But I always watched the pay-per-views, and Survivor Series definitely was the one that stuck out as the best pay-per-view of the year. Especially, I think last year with the NXT invasion, I think for the first time in how many years, the crowd was hot throughout the whole entire show. And I mean, like old school style crowd heat,
Yeah. And 2018, I fucking loved Brock Lesnar and Bryan. I think that was, to me, that's a 5-star match. And I don't say that for WWE anymore. Like, to me, that match was a storytelling masterpiece. 2017 was great with AJ and Brock. And 16 was really good as well. So, and I no matter how distant I am from the product, Survivor Series is my weakness. I always pay attention.
And for the women's match at 5-5, the Raw team has been announced. It's going to be Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who are the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, with Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, and Lana. So the whole team has been announced for Women's Monday Night or Raw against Team SmackDown, who is yet to be announced. Lana, there's been a running joke where she's been going through a table every week for like the last 5-6 weeks, trying to bury her because her husband showed up on AEW TV, or is she also on her way out? Either way, I'm sure she's not really caring because she's getting paid. So.
Yeah.
To do that, I mean, that's how I would look at it. A lot of people always, but who knows? I'm not one of these guys. So
that might be the worst Survivor Series team of all time, right there. Holy shit!
I think the only true, real talented wrestler there. And no offense to the other four women, but Shayna Baszler is the actual
Okay. I was gonna
one could
yeah.
actually go. What would you think I was going to say? Dana Brooke or
No, I was
Mandy
worried.
Rose?
See, we have never really talked about my absolute hatred for Nia Jax. So
Hold up. I already told you what I thought. Well, were you even here on Sunday when I told you how I felt about her?
I was here, but I wasn't here.
I told you, I said that, she's not. I kind of have a bias. I think that she's pretty green. She works still pretty green. She's got a pretty face. She's not that great in the ring. You know what I mean?
She needs to be fired. She's dangerous. She's gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, but look at somebody like Stan Hansen, who basically took people's heads off every week. He was pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but she's careless. Like, it's like that buckle bomb or whatever the hell that was supposed to be with Kari Sane when she's telling her,
Oh yes.
I'm not set, and she just chucks her anyway. And then next week she just chucks her head first, way too close to the fucking steel steps, and just rattles her. Like, it's shit like that. The only reason she's there is because she's related to The Rock.
Yeah.
I hate her. I would love nothing more than to see her publicly humiliated in the fucking city hall. I hate her with a dying passion. She can fuck off.
Wow. Jesus Christ. All right. So, champion versus champion. Raw's United States champion Bobby Lashley takes on SmackDown's Intercontinental champion in Sami Zayn. I think this is. Oh my god! I gotta be honest with you. Bobby Lashley is. He just knows nothing for me in WWE, or at least his current run. A lot of people keep telling me that his Impact run, he was really good. They let him cut his own promos without being pre-scripted, and that they were really good. I'm just not buying him. I never really thought he was great during his first run in WWE. I have a feeling, though, however, this is just going to be a squash match, and Sami Zayn's just going to lose.
Yeah, well, you got the new nation here. So, who do we have in here? We
the
have
Hurt Business.
Yeah, new nation. We have Cedric Alexander. I'd rather see him.
Yes.
Fuck, I'll see MVP and Sami Zayn. That's fine. I will take
Shelton
anyone.
Benjamin.
Oh,
MVP.
that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, the thing is, like, what are they doing with Shelton Benjamin?
I don't.
He doesn't even win matches anymore. It's like he came back and he's still relatively young. Was he early to mid 30s? So I mean, he's coming in doing jobs pretty much every week.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the most underrated wrestlers.
I think he really is. I think that guy's got a lot of potential to go out there and put on. There's another guy that could go with Bryan.
Oh.
Tell me that would be a phenomenal match. Yeah.
That's like one of those sleeper dream matches right there. That's like the dream match you never thought.
Give them a 60-minute Iron Man match, okay? Oh, I would sit there and watch that. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Iron Man matches.
So am I.
As at least if they're good,
And none of that 30-minute bullshit. I like the 60-minute. Like, don't give me that.
Well, that's the thing is, like, 30-minute thing is, like, I see these guys wrestle the 20-minute time limit draws on house shows or on TV. So 30 minutes is really nothing special. No. You know what I mean? 60 minutes is another thing. That's I saw not one of the first, but probably I've been going to shows for a few years, since like the later 80s. So in early 92 during Ric Flair's WWF run, I saw him and Bret Hart in a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Oh my God.
The Hartford Civic Center for the world title. Now you want to talk, like, those are just two of the greatest of all time wrestling each other for 60 minutes, and I got to witness that live.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. The thing is, like, a lot of wrestling fans don't understand how good that is. They think it's like, oh God, this is 60 minutes. Let me fast forward through it. No, you're not going to understand it if you fast forward through half the match.
Yeah, and I'm in the minority here. You might shit on me. I was not a fan of I wasn't really a fan of WrestleMania 12's Iron Man match. It was a very WWF Iron Man match.
I hear what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm not a Shawn Michaels fan by any means. Excuse me, my glasses are bothering me today.
That's where the dislikes are coming in. I hate Shawn Michaels. So.
I've grown to hate him less over the years. When I was younger, though, when I did like him when he was a tag team wrestler, him and Marty Jannetty. It's just that, when he went through his singles or his first singles run, but I just wasn't buying him as the top heel. Because to me, he was always a guy that was intercontinental level status or light heavyweight, whatever you want to call it. And it's just, he could go out there and have phenomenal matches with guys like Bret Hart. Sure, I'm not going to say that it wasn't a great match. It was a great match. It's just, and I think at the end where, they went 60 minutes and it was a draw, so they had to have, overtime. I thought that's a great concept. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, and
I might watch that when I go to bed. Jesus.
I don't put you to sleep, all right. But
I don't know about that.
The thing about the overtime, I thought the overtime was too short.
Would it go 5 minutes?
I thought it was less than that.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. So there's no point in it, basically.
Yeah, like if you did like another 10 minutes, but from what I heard, a lot of the crowd was just kind of leaving early because they just weren't really into it. But I'll tell you what, Shawn Michaels, at times, he can be one of the all-time greats in the ring, but he is one of the biggest douchebags of all time. And don't give me that born-again Christian shit. Once a douchebag, always a douchebag.
I got an ex-wife that's born again, so I know exactly what you're saying.
Oh, there you go.
It's just
an excuse. It's an excuse. It's rationalizing your past behavior.
Yes, exactly. Because they gave it, but I don't believe in that born again stuff because of that. And Shawn Michaels is no exception. He might have gotten older and then just realized he was an asshole. I'll give you that. You know what I mean? He apologized to Brett and they kind of made up in conversation.
Yeah.
And they still do video projects together every now and again. And so, I mean,
But then you hear stories after his 2002 return, like Hurricane Helms. He has a really just awful Shawn Michaels story. And, you see little things that Shawn Michaels still does, and you're like, well, there's old Shawn again. He's just trying. He's better at hiding it. I've always thought that.
Yeah, that's a very big possibility. All right, so the New Day the New Day take on the Street Profits. I'm sorry. Both of them are the SmackDown and Raw Tag Team champions, respectively. So basically, these two were both drafted to each brand. New Day were SmackDown Tag Team champions. Street Profits were Raw, and they both got drafted to opposite brands. So they traded the tag team titles.
They switched the titles. I'll tell you what.
That's some Vince Russo shit right there. Okay, that made no sense whatsoever. They just swapped the titles. Like, who came up with that? Did they do that themselves, or was there somebody in there's like Adam Pearce or Pat Buck that came out and said, "Listen, you guys are champs, just swap them"?
I honestly think they forgot they were champions, so they just rotated them. They're like, "Oh shit, what are we gonna do? Just have them swap it. It's all good."
That's some WWE booking right there. That's just atrocious.
And I'll tell you what, I never thought it. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I never thought I'd see the day where I root for the New Day. Honestly, for the first time ever, I will take the New Day over the other garbage we're getting on the other side of the ring.
Yeah, I'm going to say I would like to see that happening, but the Street Profits, I have a feeling are going to take the win because I have a feeling that they still have a lot to prove compared to the New Day. I don't mind. Now we're going to get to this portion of the conversation of that match. I don't mind the New Day. The gimmick is really goofy. As individuals, I think did I discuss this the other night? maybe when we were talking
I don't
about
remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible that Xavier Woods is the weak link of the group. I think Big E has a title run in him, singles title run in him. When he was in NXT, I always enjoyed his work. I thought he was a bit goofy, but spending the last few years on the main roster, I think that he's, grown into somebody that could be a good professional and carry the company at least for a couple months. Now, Kofi, I don't think is a bad wrestler either. I thought the match he had with Bryan at WrestleMania last year was pretty damn good. And I'm not just saying that it's just because it's Daniel Bryan. I think that don't get me wrong, when he first came in, he was doing that Jamaican gimmick and all that stuff. I thought it was ridiculous. He had the fake accent.
Yeah. That's not his fault.
No, it's creative's part. But I think that, he's grown on me over the years. I think he actually is very capable of putting on some, I don't want to say 4-star. I'm being nice, but 4-star matches at best, maybe 3-star matches.
Okay. Here's mine. I'll go through all three of them too. Biggie,
Sure.
I completely agree with you on Biggie.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Keith Lee, that's kind of a dream match for me.
Oh, that'd be, yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right. But here's the problem. I'd have Keith Lee win that. But there's really no point in having
like I
that
said,
match.
I'm a Keith Lee mark. I'm a Keith Lee mark, so
Xavier, he has a great personality, so I think he works better as a manager, personally.
I think that's why he's on the sidelines 90% of the time, like on the outside. Yeah.
And then Kofi, he's fine. He's good. If you want to have a decent 9 o'clock Raw match, throw Kofi in there. He'll do the job. But I think my problem is all three of them together. It's been like 5 years now. Like,
that's it?
It's just, I think 15, maybe late 14 is 6 years. But the whole unicorn shit, they're the Bootios. Like, it's just, I hate when you get too meta and just make fun of the sport that I love.
Yes, I completely 100% agree with you on that. Yes.
It was fine, but probably 2017 is break them up.
Yep.
And it's just, it went way too far here. It really did.
I think they beat the Demolition, and that's how long they held the tag titles, right?
They did. I was very upset that night.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's a different rant. I'm a Demolition mark, so.
No, I like the Axe and the Smash, but Crush was the better lineup. Just saying. I always say that, and everybody just looks at me like I'm retarded. No,
yeah, you are retarded for that one.
I'm joking. I'm not serious.
Right. I
feel bad for Brian. Was that Brian Adams? Yeah, Brian Adams. Not the singer, but anyways. Asuka and Sasha Banks, Raw's Women's Champion against SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha just won the title this past Sunday, so I think it'd be kind of insane if they actually had her lose that close after winning. Not that it's not a championship match. It's just it's just that I just think that it shouldn't happen. I don't think because they need to have her look as a strong champion, and I think that to have her go over Asuka, and I love Asuka, I think she's great.
Yep.
And I think the match that Sasha had on Sunday night, and I said this on Sunday when we reviewed it, that was the best match of the night.
Don't remember it.
You need to go back and watch it, and go back and watch your live feed too.
Oh, I did go back and watch. I can't watch myself on camera.
Me neither.
So
That's why I don't watch these videos that we make.
Yeah.
Unless when I'm editing them, yes, but not afterwards.
I watched a few minutes of it. I'm like, this is turning private. So that stream is no longer up.
Oh, I wonder if. So I guess I can't view it again. I was trying to find that.
If you want, I'll send you a link. I can send people links, but I was just like, oh man, that's bad. And they demonetized that stream. So
that stream, that particular stream.
Yeah, that one got demonetized for some stupid. I think I had the audio too loud in the background, but.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is so stupid. But yeah, I heard that was the best match. I do agree, because I remember the finish. That's about it, though. But the whole chair thing was incredibly fucking stupid. So, Brian Alvarez put it best. The whole chair rant. Please go watch that.
There's just so many weapons that were involved. Like, it amazes me that there was like 30 fucking kendo sticks down below. Yeah. And how did the kendo stick, first off, for the main event, how did the kendo stick get on top of the fucking roof? I mean, did Randy come down earlier or go climb the rafters and join? I mean, it just seems so ridiculous. It really honestly did. And I don't know if you noticed this. I didn't mention it on Sunday. I'll mention it now before we get to the other match for the Survivor Series. They cut holes in the cage in the Hell in a Cell that you could purposely climb.
They always did that.
Never noticed it before.
Yeah, they did. It's a little more noticeable because it's red now. But
yeah, I just find it really bizarre, to be honest with you.
They also have holes on the sides so the camera lens can go in.
Yeah, those I've known about.
Yeah, yes. But there have always been footholes. I don't know if for the first one. I'd have to go back and check. Because Shawn Michaels, obviously, he had the spot, but when he was on the side, so I'd have to go look. But yeah, I'd say 90% of the time there were footholes.
Okay.
Which is stupid, but you also have to think about the wrestler's safety.
That's true.
Could you climb up a 20-foot structure, just this little fencing?
I'd climb up about 3 feet and get scared.
Well, I would climb up and then I'd fall. So
yeah.
Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 3,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 100 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
All right, everybody. So so far, the match, WWE title versus Universal title. New WWE champion Randy Orton taking on Roman Reigns, the new tribal chief. Oh, God.
The new tribal chief.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty amazing that Alpha and Sika came out and handed him the, put the lei over him and announced him. But what I was talking to you about before we went on, this is just funny that apparently was it Jimmy and Jay have to follow him around, like basically like they're his servants or something now? That's how it works?
Yeah, but does that mean they're going to turn heel, or are they going to play babyface in that role?
They're probably going to be these sympathetic heels. Like they're technically baby faces, but
Darth Vader.
Well, I guess so.
So that's a sympathetic heel.
Yeah.
If you watch it in order.
So they have no choice but to bow down to the baby face, or to the heel, excuse me. So which is basically, it's furthering the storyline for probably, I don't know, what's the December pay-per-view called?
TLC, I think.
TLC. So, basically gearing up people for that. You know what I mean? So where there's going to end up there'll be that until, I don't know, 2 weeks before, where they fucking turn on Roman completely and get the fans behind them. So they'll have the fans behind them pretty much the whole time. It's just in a sympathetic manner. But a lot of people are loving that storyline. I completely find it drivelous and atrocious.
I thought that match was boring.
I did. And they keep saying, oh, it was a half hour long. I'm like, how is it a half hour long? It took up 50 minutes of the fucking hour.
Well, yeah, and that...
I'm sure you had the introduction, so give that 5 minutes of show. And then, how long? I mean, it ended at 8 or 7:50 Eastern time. So I don't know what they're including.
I don't know.
Either way, yeah.
That match was just boring. I thought the finish was stupid. But from what I've seen, here's my thing.
Yeah, go for it.
People love the finish, where I'm like, no, it's fucking stupid. Here's why. I love the first few Hell in a Cell matches the best, where, even nowadays it's marketed as, oh, you can't escape. No one can come in and no one can come out. Name a Hell in a Cell match, and there's probably a 50% chance nowadays that either someone came in or someone came out. This match had all these people coming in. You had fucking Jimmy Uso coming in. You had a referee. You had some agents, producers I didn't recognize. And it's just like, it wasn't even a cell match anymore. It was just a badly booked WCW mayhem or something.
And you saw the later match, Orton and McIntyre. Orton just so happened to have a pair of bolt cutters out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like they just happen to be under the ring. It's magic.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Nobody there has any idea what the fuck they're doing anymore.
Just like you also shouldn't have 3 cell matches in one pay-per-view. And you also shouldn't even have a gimmick pay-per-view in the first place. Yeah. I remember when you didn't know when the next cell match was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
When it was announced, you're like, fuck yeah. And it was only announced for the rivalries that needed that big climax blow-off. And now you just have...
It's every year. They already have the whole thing. They build up particular matches for it. Just like a certain feud, and they're just like, oh, we're doing this. Putting them in the... this is only the second time those two wrestled, though. Isn't it? Roman and the Uso? Because they wrestled on the last pay-per-view. So it's like, why? What was the purpose of them having a Hell in a Cell match already? Because it's obviously the storyline's going to continue.
And I think Sasha and Bayley, you've already waited this long. Wait till WrestleMania. Have them be together. Have Sasha win the Rumble. There you go. That's your WrestleMania women's main event right there.
Okay. I think that's not wrong. So we're going to do a few more minutes. Do you have anything else that you want to bring up before?
I think I'm good. I'm angry enough.
So I watched a shit ton of wrestling over the course of the day. Besides listening to a million podcasts and Busted Open. I watched Ring of Honor's Pure Tournament, the semifinals tonight. You have to really go and check this out. Every week, you're laughing. I could tell.
It's because everyone tells me to, and I just haven't.
I think it's highly recommended because I think that, honestly, this is what's going to be bringing Ring of Honor back. And the eyes on Ring of Honor, because the talent that they're bringing in for this is phenomenal. The semifinals, Josh Woods took on Jonathan Gresham. Now, I really wanted Josh Woods to win this match. Josh the Goods Woods. You remember?
Oh. Jeez.
The first time I saw him, a few weeks back. Crap, I'm trying to remember who he wrestled. Anyways, he's another one of those guys that goes out there, no knee pads, kind of old school, kind of shooter type, like a Drew Gulak, and he lost Jonathan Gresham with a sunset flip. Mind you, I know this is pre-taped. I don't normally pop when there's pre-taped matches going on, but I actually popped because I was rather upset because I thought this Woods guy, I wanted him to win. I really did, but it was a phenomenal match. And go ahead.
I will say this. Yeah, the reason I laughed is literally because everyone has told me, check this out. I haven't watched Ring of Honor in so fucking long. And I think you're right that this could bring it back, because now more than ever, I see so many people tweeting about it. There's so much interest. I see it all over the place. I haven't seen interest for Ring of Honor in a while.
Yeah, I think because, was it last year, the year before, basically everybody was getting signed to NXT.
Yeah.
Punishment Martinez, Jesus Christ, guys like Gargano, Cole, everybody was just getting picked up. Roderick Strong, that guy had a really nice lengthy run there. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. There was just a lot of guys that were just getting cherry-picked, basically, and brought to NXT. So basically, you weren't enjoying Ring of Honor, you're going to enjoy NXT because it's the same shit. Because it just pulled all the good guys. But props to Ring of Honor because they really stuck with it. They stopped running when the pandemic happened. But when they came back with this pure tournament, the matches every week have been phenomenal. Like legitimately phenomenal. I have not been unimpressed with anything that I've seen so far. I wrote down the other match. Apparently that happened, but I forgot to write down the results, and I can't even think.
All right. Fair enough.
Jay Lethal and Tracy Williams, and if I remember correctly, it was Jay Lethal. I wish I wrote it down better. I think I got up from my chair and I forgot to write it. But either way, that was another match. I mean, you can never really go wrong with Jay Lethal in the ring. That's a guy that's worked his ass off for the last 15 or so years. From the Indies to TNA to Ring of Honor. And I'm surprised we have not seen him in WWE or NXT.
Probably for the best. But this is going to be a very dated question. Does he still do Black Machismo?
He has not. The last time I saw him do any of that kind of stuff was at All In. So now he's which I thought that match. I'm trying to remember who he even wrestled then.
Oh God.
Oh Jesus Christ. That's something we should do for a retro show. That's
hell yeah. I'm all in for that.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
So yeah, I thought that was a good match. This guy, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. These Ring of Honor guys got some great nicknames. I think that was a phenomenal match, and I highly recommend. I'm going to start sending you links every Monday now to tell you to watch them. And if you don't watch them, you're going to start coming on Tuesdays, and we're going to be recording as well as covering New Japan. We're going to start covering New Japan very soon here. So I think that we should do what's going to happen is we're just going to cover both of those together.
I'm down.
I'm
always down for some New Japan.
Yeah, me too. Tell everybody where they can find you.
The DVD Freak on YouTube. I'm actually trying to do live streams more often, so if you enjoy live streams, join me for that. My girlfriend actually expressed interest because we did a live stream recently, a drunken one, and that got some insanely good reception. So she had mentioned to me she wants to do them once a week or once every 2 weeks. So yeah, I'm really experimenting with new stuff on my channel. And then social media wise, just type in the DVD Freak. You'll see the little blue symbol and just click on that because I ain't plugging all of them.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, the Rick Del Santo. And
I
actually did. I forget every week. You can also keep an eye out for the Instagram TV app, putting up more content there. Sometimes things that I put up on YouTube that are 15 minutes or less are also on there. I'm trying to put up some exclusive content for there as well. Alrighty, everybody. Take care.